All right. It is Friday, and you know what that means. It is time for Freedom Fridays, y'all. So, welcome, especially for all my replay people, for all the lovely humans that are joining me. I'm so glad that you're here. And so let me just let you know here's what's going on. This is a co planning session specifically for workaholics, corporate professionals, entrepreneurs, strong Black women, especially us, because we're probably some version of all of those things I've already said before. Um, Especially, so all of those people, we are the ones who, yes, we work hard, we get stuff done, we're diligent, we're reliable, but we also want to live our best life. We want to live our fullest life. And we know that working is keeping us from doing that. And here's the thing. This is not about swinging from one extreme to the other. We know that we're not the people who are ever going to become lazy girls. That's just not our MO. We couldn't be lazy if we wanted to. We seriously don't know how. But instead of swinging from one pendulum or one extreme to the other, we're trying to find this work less, live more lifestyle where we work hard, but we play hard. And we know how to do that without adding more stress, without taking on over responsibility. And it gives us the freedom to not have to be on all the time, not have to armor up when we go to work, not have to feel guilty or shame for actually having good boundaries and saying, you know what, I have done what I can do for you. And while I would usually go above and beyond to help you, I don't have space for that anymore. Because that is the mindset that I have always had as a workaholic, that it was my responsibility to keep the boat afloat. Not anymore. If the boat is going down, then I guess I better get me a dinghy. What's the save yourself boat. Lord, I can't think of what it's called right now. But yeah, that's what it comes down to. So um but we also know the boat is not going down. It's just that we always feel like we have to take responsibility to keep things afloat, and that's not true. So we're letting go of those myths that um everything relies on us in order for things to stay afloat, in order for things to work, and instead um we're shifting ourselves to take better care of ourselves and to prioritize ourselves, knowing that we deserve that. We deserve to live a life where we get to enjoy our vacations, and not worry about work when we come back. We get to enjoy our weekends without worrying about how Monday is going to be. And this session is all about setting up our schedule in order to do that, and then creating habits and routines to really help us do that. So, if you are new here, my name is Rashida. I am a recovering workaholic and your dream strategist, also a recovering strong Black woman, meaning that, I have done all of these things where I felt so much responsibility to keep everything afloat. And then I decided, you know what, that was burning me out. It wasn't what I wanted for my life. And I was ready to try something different. And so I started letting go of the pressure, the weight crushing pressure to show up for everyone and everybody, and started prioritizing myself. And I do that very intentionally in my schedule so that I still get work done. I work hard. I love what I do. That's why I work hard. But I also make time to play hard, to do things that I love, to have time for rest so that my cup could be filled up and that I'm serving people from a full cup rather than trying to give what I do not myself have. So, if that sounds like you, I would love for you to participate in this co planning session. Today, we're going to set your weekend, or you're going to set next week up for success. And the way that we're going to do that is that we're going to first celebrate your wins, we're going to set up your schedule, and then we're going to wind down for the weekend. If you do not yet have today's worksheet, I have a companion worksheet where that we're going to go through during this session. go ahead and head to this website here on the page, freedomfridays.yourdreamstrategist.com. And the link is also in the description in case you missed that. Go ahead and download this worksheet because we're going to work through it together. And that's going to be really huge in helping you set this next week up for success. So, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I am just getting this one last thing set up. I wish that this would automatically set itself up every week, but it doesn't quite work like that. Oh, you know what? If I click on this, does it do it? Nope, that didn't do it. I'm so close. One more second, guys. Was that it? Nope, that wasn't it. Technical difficulties. Oh no, oh no. Here we go. Here we go. All right, great. And then Mimi is joining us here again today. So excited to see you, Mimi. I'm so glad that you can join. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump in. So welcome. We are going to jump right into celebrating our wins from this week. So do me a favor, if you've had any wins from this week, regardless of whether you're watching the replay or you're live, I'm excited to hear from you, Mimi. Let me know, what are the things that you are celebrating this week so I can celebrate them with you. That's part of the fun of this journey, is when you pause and remind yourself just how much progress you've made, or to celebrate your wins, you get to see just how much progress you've made. So make sure you take some time to do that. All right. So while Mimi is typing hers in the chat, let me think about mine. I have one win that I'm super excited about. So I was invited to do 2 collaborations this week. Super excited. So one is going to be coming up in April, and I think we'll be doing the recording in March. And then another one, I'll be doing a collaboration on another YouTube channel in the next couple of weeks. And when I have more information, I'll let you know. I am so excited to be able to partner with other women, especially other Black women who are on this journey to stop prioritizing work and actually create this lifestyle that prioritizes them and allows us to stop. I can't say it any other way than really stop feeling like I'm on all the time. I remember a couple years ago, I was creating my goals with a friend, and I that was the first time I said that phase, like that phrase, that I was just tired of being on all the time and I needed to figure out another way to do it. And this whole practice that I do right here really came from that, because at that point I was overbooking my schedule. I was literally booking my schedule for like 90 hours worth of work, and there's really only, honestly, 50 hours worth of time during the week to healthily be able to do work and still have a life. And I really wanted to be more like 32, not even 50. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until I got this practice that I could see that. I didn't even recognize that I was overbooking myself until I started using this. So I really hope that this starts to help you as it helped me. Yay for the claps. Yes, thank you, Mimi. Thank you for celebrating with me. I appreciate that. I'm really excited about that. So yes, that's the first thing I'm celebrating. Second thing I'm celebrating, let me think. You know what? Yesterday was us ladies. Yesterday was a day that I wanted to really get caught up and get a couple more things done. But I was in an emotional state. I'm sure it was just PMS. We know that's literally our hormones in our body. And so I'm celebrating today that I didn't beat myself up for it. I did get some work done, some really great work done. And then the rest of the day, I didn't even go stepping yesterday. I just didn't have the energy for it. And again, as that workaholic mindset before, especially us as Black women, especially as women, we are so diligent in saying, when I say that I'm going to do something, by hell or high water, I'm going to do something. But sometimes we really do that with a detriment to ourselves, that instead of giving ourselves grace and say, I overbooked myself, or I really don't have the energy to do this, or this is not as important as I thought it was. Instead, we beat ourselves up, we bulldoze ourselves into doing more when we actually can give ourselves grace and just say, you know what? No, I don't have to do it. I love how Stephanie Perry says, girl, get used to quitting. Like, quit things that you don't want. Like, you don't have to hold on to that obligation. One of my favorite things that I like to say about that is, if I'm doing it out of obligation, I shouldn't be doing it at all. Regardless of whether it's my business, regardless of whether it's my personal life, if I'm doing it out of obligation, I'm not doing it out of love. And I don't want to be doing anything out of obligation. So I'm glad that yesterday I actually took my little tookis over there and laid down because I just wasn't feeling it. And when I also recognize that when I do that for myself, when I bully myself into doing more, I do it with a worse attitude. I would not have had as much fun. I would not have enjoyed the people that I would dance with as much if I would have bulldozed myself into doing it. So I'm glad that I just went and laid down. And it was a really great evening. I enjoyed myself. I rested and I feel a heck of a lot better this morning. So that's my second win. I feel like that was a little bit long-winded, but that's my second win. And let me see, what's my third win for this week? Let me think. Let me think. I know I have another one. I'm trying to remember the other things that happened this week. And just so you know, this is actually a part of the exercise. When you go into your worksheet, this is the first box when you get into the exercise parts where you would journal these out. Um, but I love that you guys share them with me because it gives me something to celebrate as well. Oh, I know what else this week. I did a little bit better at meal planning this week. So I used to be really good at it, but now that I have housemates and my housemate is a chef, which is amazing because I get a great food all the time. But because I get great food all the time, I got a little lax on my meal prep. And I'm trying to get myself back into the habit because it's better for my management and everything. So I didn't meal prep all meals, but I did meal prep breakfast for the week. I made this vegan breakfast casserole that is delicious. Now let me tell you, when she makes them, they are like crack. And you know how when somebody else makes it, it's always better when they make it. So that's what it is, but mine came out really good. So I'm not going to complain. I'm glad that I made them. I've eaten them every day this week. I've been really glad that I made sure that I did that. So that is my third win this week. So, yes, yes. Okay. So then let's see. Mimi said her wins are number one, getting clear on my vision for my business. Yes, that's amazing. I know that you've been following along with the vision board with me exercise. I'm really excited for us to keep working through this over the next weeks. So I'm excited to hear how if you want to share on either of those videos too, what vision did you cast? What are you most excited? What's the number one thing? Let me say that. What's the number one thing that you're excited about your business in the long term and in the short term? I would love to hear about that. And then number two, honoring myself by leaving a situation that didn't feel good to me. Yes, girl. Yes. Again, that's exactly what I just said. If we're doing it out of obligation rather than doing it out of love, it doesn't have to be in our lives. It shouldn't be in our lives. We actually get to move on. So yes, I love that. I'm so glad that you did that as well. And then number three, acknowledging how much I've grown mentally and emotionally. You know, growth mentally and emotionally, growth anyway, is like when you're in the midst of it, you're like, this sucks. This is the worst thing ever. But we also know that it's so good for us. And it's like working out. Like when you're working out, especially at the beginning or at the first time, you're like, this is the worst. But then when you get done, you feel stronger and you're glad you did it. So I would imagine that's how this feels. So I'm so excited that you did that. Congratulations. Three great wins. I love it. Okay. So then you also said, let me see. One of let me click it. Let me click it. One of Trisha Hershey's rest deck cards says to go lay down somewhere, and I love it. I'm glad you honored your body and rested. I need to get that. I've been wanting to read her book as well. Maybe we could do like a little book club on here, or I'm gonna think about how we could do that. I would love to get like a list of all the books, specifically from Black women, that talk about rest, that talk about letting go of burnout, over responsibility, being on all the time, having to armor up. Any books that are about letting go of any of those things, please put them in the comments. I want to go get every single one of them. I do have some of them on a list on my to read list, but I would love for you to share every single one of what yours are. So I don't want to miss it. So if you know anything about any of those, please share them. I would love to read them. I'm definitely going to have to go get that deck. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay. So, if anybody else has wins, I know there's a couple other people watching. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to be able to celebrate with you. And then also just a quick plug here. If this celebrating your wins and, setting your schedule up for success for next week and then winding down is your thing, make sure that you take a second to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you can be reminded to join us next week, and every week thereafter for this co-planning session. Okay. That being said, it is officially time to move into setting up our schedule for next week. Actually, I take that back. Well, yes, it is setting up our schedule, but the first step that we do is the reflection time of, how well did we actually accomplish our goals from last week. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch gears and get that open here. All right. So getting my iPad all set up. There we go. Okay. So what we're doing right now, and this comes from the worksheet that I shared with you. So if you have not yet downloaded that, it's free. Just head over to my website. It's freedomfridays.yourdreamstrategist.com. You'll be able to download this worksheet and go through it with us. So let me go through all the different things that I have on my screen here. So this is what that worksheet looks like over here. And I am going to make a copy of this document. So the way that I do this, I like to do it on my iPad, for one, because I can share it with you guys, but also two, um, I am paperless as a digital nomad. I am always ducking and moving, and it is so much easier. So much easier if I can do things like this. I still like to be able to write because it's easier to allow my thoughts and things to flow. Um, but I don't want to carry the paper, because who has time to do that? I travel with a book bag and a digital office and a carry-on. That's how I like to travel, because I don't want to be lugging around all of that stuff. After backpacking around the world, I always just do it from a book bag. So you're going to open up this worksheet and we're going to work through it. So this also has my realistic schedule and some budget stuff in here. And then, so as I said before, this is where we start. That last exercise that we just did um, starts here with celebrating your weeks. You could journal that here. But right now we are actually working on looking at the list of things that we didn't complete for the last week. Now, I want to do this slightly different in that I'm going to restart this timer, and rather than me talking through it the whole time, I want to actually give you the 10 minutes to do the reflection time, and I'm going to do it as well. So, if you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments. I will make sure that I'm keeping an eye out so that I can answer any of them, but I want to give you the time to actually do the exercise. And if you want to just watch me do mine, I'm still going to do mine on the screen, but I want to make sure you have time to do it. Okay. So let me just reset this here. All right. There we go. And Mimi says, I hear that team paper limits. Yes, me too, girl. Nobody has time to be carrying all that paper. All right. I'm going to be quiet. Just checking. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and let me know. Otherwise, continue to continue to work on deciding what tasks from last week didn't get finished that you need to put in for next week. And then also, if there's any new projects or things that you need to add in for next week, make sure you're getting that here as well so you can use this to prep you for your next step of putting all of your tasks and the things that you need to accomplish in your calendar in this next step. Okay? Okay. Okay. So I know I've been a little bit, excuse me, more quiet than usual because I really wanted to give you guys some time to work through it. So we have just about a minute left. Go ahead and finish up. Okay. I also still need to figure out how to get us some good music here. I'm going to work on that this week. Unfortunately, that's been in not important, but the important but not urgent thing. So, okay. So we just finished going through our okay, Siri, there we go. Go away. Nope, stop. Cancel. Siri thinks I'm talking to it. Um all right. So we just went through and looked at our schedule to decide um what kind of decisions do we need to make about the tasks that we didn't complete from last week, and what things do we need to do to set to get scheduled in for next week. So now our next step is to start scheduling next week. So I'm getting my screen set up to do that. Here we go. Now, you know, my favorite tool to be able to do this is Sunsama. And so I'm just going to go ahead and run it down. Now, if you have not used Sansama before, the reason I love Sansama is because it kind of combines the last task, or the last thing that we had to do in the exercise and planning, into one all-in-one spot, and it makes it really easy to drag and drop and do that. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. If you are not using Sansama, the other option is to use just a Google Planner, a Google Calendar, or you could also just set this up in your analog planner. There's more than one way to set, to get your schedule and to keep track of your to-do list. But the point is that you keep track of your to-do list, and you actually use this time to get your schedule set up and scheduled for next week. So based on the boxes from the last exercise, you want to start with planning that top right hand corner box first. And if you're doing this in an analog way or any manual way, and if you are doing this in Sansama, you've probably already dragged it and dropped it to the right day, and you just need to schedule it in your calendar. So make sure that you're spending some time to do that right now. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to put this window over here so I can see it. And then I'm going to start working on mine right now. Okay. All right. So bookkeeping for the year. Progress. Let's do this first. I want to do. I really think that video scripting is not going to take. So I'm doing one video. Actually, let's change it to two. Excuse me if I talk to myself. It's just me thinking. I'm sure you're talking to yourself too. Okay. And I'm gonna change the thing. Yep, let's do You guys, I have to be honest. I just love how easy Sensama makes this. It dragging and dropping is my favorite thing in the whole world. Okay, I'm done. Sorry for interrupting you. Again, if you have any questions, just let me know. Oh, and by the way, Mimi learned last or 2 weeks ago, if you have if you use Google Calendar to do this process rather than using what is it, Sensama, you can drag and drop in Google Calendar as well. Just in case you didn't know that, make sure you. I wanted to make sure I share that hack with you. Okay, definitely. We're about halfway through the time, so just keeping that, keep letting you know that you're doing great. Don't rush. Do not rush. Excuse me. Okay. This one was a little high, but that's okay. This one is definitely high, but again, let's include some fun in there. Got one. Okay, because it's included my work. Okay. All right, you guys. So we're just about done with this, and I got my whole week scheduled. This is part of the reason why I love this program because you can, as long as you have your routines and your life and your business systems set up in here to be recurring tasks, you can drag and drop them in whatever order that you want on to putting them onto your calendar so that you end up seeing that my calendar for next week now looks for like this. Now, here's what I think is interesting about this. It's getting ready to change, of course. What some people would say is, man, that's a crazy looking schedule. It's got a lot of things on there. Um, excuse me. I would like to give you a mindset shift in that my week has some flexibility in it, but the reason my time is blocked like that is because with time blocking, I am actually budgeting my time rather than trying to fit a whole bunch of stuff in. So the mindset change around that is my schedule is booked with the things that are important to me rather than just being booked for no reason. So you'll see where some people say, get rid of doing one-on-one calls all the time and finally get to just one call. It's about changing from this place where you're overextending yourself to finding a better way to manage it and then setting up your time that way. So that's why I appreciate seeing my schedule like this because I know what I have to do for each of those days next week. And I finally see that, some of the things that I had not been able to fit in my schedule over the last couple weeks have are now actually in my schedule and are ready to be accomplished. So I'm excited about that. I'm feeling really, really good about that. So, with that being said, now we are officially moving into our wind down section. You know, I love the wind down part. Okay. So, in before we do that, I want you to take one last look at the schedule that you created for next week and make sure you have fun and rest time booked into your calendar. So, for me, I left some spaces where I'm pretty sure I'm going to need more time that I plan for like video editing. And there was another task in there that I was like, I think I'm going to need a little bit more time for that. Let me keep that time open. And then I also made sure I have fun. I've got my Kizomba class, I've got my other dance class, and I'm going to a Christian McBride concert next Friday. So that's fun, very exciting. I'm also going to be packing for a trip that I'll be leaving a couple days right after that. So I also like this chance to look at my week beforehand because it reminds me of all the things that are coming up in the immediate week. But the reminder right here is to make sure that you have the fun rest scheduled in next week, not just the work, not just the work. Okay. Get all the different pieces set up in there. And then now we're ready to officially move on to the winding down part. So that's page 8 in your workbook. And step number 1, we already just did the do the last check. That was the first thing on the list. The first wind down step is to close some windows on your computer. Now, I understand it's noon on a Friday. Maybe you still have another couple hours on your Friday. But start seeing what windows are you planning to close down? Which ones are you like, I just need to finish up a couple more things and then I can close them. And I'm not saying you need to close all the windows. I am reasonable and I understand that the reality is this is a growing process. You're not going to immediately get there, and that's completely okay. So just try to close one extra window on your computer today and see how that feels. It always feels lighter for me. So that's step number 1. Wind down step number 2, decide what dinner or meal that you're going to treat yourself to this evening. Now, I actually didn't, usually I will do some pre-thought to this. And I didn't do that today. So I don't have a plan for this. I'm definitely going to have to spend some time thinking about this. And there's not anything immediate coming to mind right now. Last week I went down to visit my family. I don't know. What are you guys thinking about? What are you going to eat? What is going to be your fun meal this evening? Or what are you going to do for fun today? Excuse me, to signify that you're moving into your weekend. I'm usually really good at that. And you see what happens when you don't plan it out ahead of time? You get to that point and you're like, well, what the heck am I going to do? So here's what I'm going to do. I have a list of things that I know I like to do when I can't figure out what I want to do to rest. I am going to reference my list. And I have to pull it out. So I'm trying to think what are some things on that list. On that list, I like to go take a walk on a rail trail. Oh, one of my favorite restaurants that I haven't done in a while. I like to get vegan pizza from this restaurant called Ava. Maybe I'll drive downtown and do that and then take a walk afterwards. Um, oh, there's also an Ethiopian place called Lags that I was told about that I haven't tried that yet. I don't know if they have vegan things, but I might. Mimi says, I never know what I'm gonna eat. Girl, I understand. It's like the hardest decision to make. And that's why I try at least on Friday evening to choose something fun because otherwise I eat so that I'm not hungry, not necessarily because I'm enjoying the pleasure of eating. So I completely understand. Let me think, what is the fun thing I'm going to do today? You know what I need to do? My treadmill, my walking pad stopped working this week, and I'm so sad about it. I don't know if you noticed, there were a couple days, my morning workout, one of the things that I do, I get up in the morning, I raise my desk, and I walk and work for an hour. And this week, my treadmill said, derp, derp, derp. It kind of, I tripped a little bit. My foot got caught, and I must have messed with the belt. And then it started making this weird noise, but it would still work. And now it's still making the weird noise, but when I try to walk on it, it doesn't walk. It doesn't work. So it's like the pad stops running. So I got to figure out about my warranty or I got to find another solution. I might end up just my other solution is that I will take my laptop. There's a gym not too far. I might walk to the gym, walk and work there and then walk back, or I might even do my workout while I'm there and then walk back. Not my preference because we have so much other gym equipment here, but I can't walk and work on the elliptical. And that's the other piece of cardio equipment that we have here. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. I know that's not necessarily the typical fun thing to do, but I mean, shopping is always fun for me. So I might do that. Okay. Mimi says, my fun thing is going to an Argentine tango masterclass tonight. Woo, that sounds like a lot of fun. I've never done tango. I have never done tango, but my favorite emoji is the dancing lady with the red dress. Like, oh, totally my thing. Let us know how it goes next week. I have to remember so I can ask you about how it goes. That sounds like a lot of fun. Okay. Let me see. All right. So that's how we're winding down today. Before we shut it down for the day, oh, yes, Mimi said, dang, I know. I'm so sad about my treadmill. I mean, now let me tell you, I got it January of last year. So I had it for a whole year. And I do remember looking at um, some of the reviews that said, it's it works for a while and then it kind of stops. So I do feel like I've got my money's worth. I don't think I've counted how many days I walked and worked, but I did quite a few days of walking and working. And for me, as long as it works when it's cold outside, because I would much rather go walk outside anyway, but I don't like the cold more. So I would rather walk and work inside when it's cold. So it's gotten me through quite a bit of winter. It's starting to warm up here in Charlotte. But like I said, I might come up with another alternative. But yeah, I really hope I can either maybe the warranty will help me get a new get the part so that I could get it fixed, or I'll just have to come up with another solution. So, and then, all right. Mimi also says, yes, this has to be one of my most used emojis. Yes, that dancing one, I love it all the time. I'm like, get it. Yes, let's do it. That's my favorite emoji, which is so nerdy and I don't care. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, I love that. I enjoy you guys so much. So as we're wrapping up, I always want to remind you, please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, especially if you're here for the replay. I would love to hear about your wins. Let me know how it's going with using Google Calendar to set up your schedule or whatever you're using, whether it's Google Calendar, um, just a planner, or if you're using Sansama. If you'd like to try Sansama, I do have an affiliate link in my description. You'll get 30 days free to try it. I love it. And it'll give you a chance to kind of get a feel for it, especially because you can get on here and ask me any questions about it. I will gladly answer them. I use it all the time. It's my favorite planning program. And let me tell you, I've been through quite a few of them. So those are some immediate things for just getting you set up here on Freedom Fridays. Also tell your friends. I would love for as many of us to come together to really set our schedules up for next week and set them up for success. So I'd love for you to invite people. The other thing that I will say is that, um, this is a partner exercise to what we do in my anti-superhero toolkit. And the reason this is so important is that this is the maintenance to what we do in the anti-superhero toolkit. Because in the toolkit, we set up your time and energy budget where we put some forethought into intention into how do you best create this work life balance, and what kind of routines and systems do you need to have in place in order to do that well and maintain it? So through that, I walk you through creating your time and energy budget, and then showing you how to use it when you're putting it into your routine of doing your weekly planning that we do here on Fridays. And then we join here on Friday and we actually do it together. So I love being able to invite you guys into this. If you are ready to take the next step to create your time and energy budget, to take your weekly planning to the next level, I would love for you to get my Anti-Superhero Toolkit. It's a really great resource. It's a 4-module course that walks you through the whole process. And if you like, you can join our community. In addition to continue to coming to these Friday sessions every week for free, where we do these co-planning. We do the co-planning together so that when you use this 1 hour to be intentional and set your whole next week up, you get back so much more time next week because you don't have to spend any brain space thinking, what is the most important thing for me to do? What do I need to focus on right now? How do I make sure I get things done? You get to get all of that decision fatigue out of the way and get just focused on getting that all set up right now. And that gives you so much time back next week. So I would love for you to be able to get our toolkit. And if you are ready to take that even further, you're saying, you know what, I've gotten really good at using my time and energy budget. I'm no longer in burnout. I no longer feel like I'm on all the time, but I'm ready to dream. I'm ready to change my lifestyle. I'm ready to I'm ready to make more time and space for traveling, for lifestyle freedom, for all the other things that I want to do in my life. But I'm kind of in this place where I got so many things I want to do, I don't even know where to start. That's exactly what my next program, my 6-month program, is all about. It's a coaching program called Meant for More, where I help you get all of your dreams out of your mind, especially if you're going through this vision board series. That's a good chunk of what we do, because a lot of times we say we want a better life, but we're not really clear about what that looks like. And so in Meant for More, first we make sure we detox all the workaholic tendencies and actually remind ourselves that we deserve to not have to be a workaholic. You don't have to work yourself to death in order to live a good life. I truly believe that, like from the bottom of my heart, you do not need to do that. So we get all of that out first, and then we move into envisioning what do I want my life to look like 10 years from now, and breaking that down to what things that we're going to do this year and the years coming. to be able to build that. And then we step into our exit plan. We're exiting workaholism. We're leaving that behind and we're actually changing our lifestyle so that we can live a soft life, have more ability to work less and live more. And that's all the 4 phases of things that we do through the Meant for More program. That has been my whole journey. It has been an uncomfortable journey because changing your lifestyle is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. When you've been told since you were a kid that you have to bulldoze your way, that you have to work hard in order to amount to anything, it is a huge mindset shift to let that go. And it was also the best decision I have ever made, hands down. And so I would love to be able to accompany you, to serve you, to guide you on that same journey, and help you also get there faster without half of the mistakes that I made, with financial freedom, with time and energy freedom, all of those things along the way, rather than getting bogged down on all the things that can make this a harder journey. When you join the program, those things go away. We definitely have seen that happen. So if you're interested in that, I'd love for you to check out my program, Meant for More. Again, the link for this is in the description as well. You could also go to meantformore.yourdreamstrategist.com. And then if I didn't name anything that you're looking for right now, maybe you're looking for some of my freebies, or anything like that. I have my free webinar. I have a wonderful PDF. Um, I have the worksheet from this live stream. All of those great things are there. Oh, and the main thing that I would love for you to check out, if you're not sure what you need, I have a free workaholic exit plan call. It's a free call. We're going to get on there and we're going to talk about where you are right now, where you want to be, and together we're going to create a plan that's going to take you through that process of, transforming your life from this workaholic lifestyle to your work less, live more lifestyle. And then if, we're talking on this conversation and it really feels like it's a good fit for us to work together, and only if it's a good fit, this is absolutely no pressure for either one of us. I want to work with people who want to work with me, right? So if that sounds like it's a good fit for you, through this conversation, we can make that decision. And if we decide it is, I would love to invite you to be a part of my program and I would give you more details about that. So if you would like to do that workaholic exit plan call, go ahead. And again, the link for that is in my link in this link right here. So that'll be at bio.yourdreamstrategist.com. So I enjoy you guys every single week. Oh, my final question. So today, I did this co-working session a little bit differently where I talked less and gave you more time to work. I want to know, how did that feel for you? I know it was a little more quiet in some of the places. I didn't really walk you through what I was doing as much, but I want to know, was that okay? Did that feel good for you? Did it allow you to just kind of jump in? Especially if you've come to these sessions before, you probably have seen some of my tricks and some of the ways that I think about things. So I just felt like I wanted to give you some space to do it on your own. Let me know if that was yay or nay. Like I want to hear from you. Is that a good thing? Is that something I should continue doing, or is that something, or should I go back to talking you through it because you take different points or different things from it from when I'm sharing. So let me know. And I think that's it. I think that's all I got for you today. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and close this down. Don't forget to let me know in the comments which way you feel about it. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Mimi, you have a wonderful weekend. I love seeing you here every single week. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.